So you flew to Charlotte, booked a hotel, took part 3 of optometry boards, and you didn't pass. What now? Let's find out in this video. What up guys, Dr. Andreas here with another video. If you're new here to this channel, it's all about helping optometry students, residents, and new doctors with optometry related questions. If you like the video, please consider smashing that like button and subscribing. And now, onto the video. So if you're watching this, you may have failed part 3 or you passed but didn't meet the qualification to get a license in your state. For example, in Florida as of 2020, you need to get at least a 75% in slit lamp, BIO, and 90. It doesn't matter if you get 100 on everything else. Either way, now is the time to assess a few things. But before you do that, you need to fully understand that this does not mean that you're not a good clinician. It just means that your performance that day may not have been ideal to the NBEO standards according to your specific proctors, which unfortunately that may or may not be a tad subjective. Keep in mind that a large number of optometrists practicing today had to take part 3 numerous times, and I know personally many of my classmates that I have the utmost respect for that had to retake it despite the fact that their clinical skills rivaled or were better than mine. Heck, I know a friend that took over a year to pass part 3 for Florida, but had been successfully treating ocular disease in hundreds of patients in that time as a resident, so his overall clinical skills weren't the problem. I've also heard of colleagues that failed BIO the first time even though they claim they saw perfect views, while others passed but admit they got terrible views. My point is, don't be discouraged over one fail, whether you had a bad day and didn't perform as well, or you just barely failed. As incredibly annoying and inconvenient as that may be to be professionally judged by a proctor to the point that you have to fly back to Charlotte again, and as annoyed as you might get from listening to me telling you to not get upset, all you can do is just practice some more, work on areas that may need improvement, maybe allocate more time of the test to those skills that require good views like BIO, 90, and slit lamp, and then just take the test again to finally pass and move on with your life. You are not alone. You're a 4th-year optometry student. If you made it this far, you're not going to let one test get in your way. Okay, now that my rant is over, here are the 3 questions to ask yourself if you didn't perform as well as you wanted. Which sections did I do well in? Which sections did I not do well in or do much worse than I expected? And why do I think that's the case? The 3rd bullet point is crucial, as this may reveal a weakness that you didn't know you had. Discuss your weakness with a classmate. Have them watch you if necessary while you perform a skill. Maybe you did really bad on people testing, and upon observation, your classmate realizes that you were doing this instead of this. Or maybe for confrontation fields, instead of leaning back and doing this to assess their peripheral vision, you were all up in their face and going like this. Or maybe you're consistently forgetting to wash your hands at the beginning of each station. Or you're not performing von Grey Fouriers correctly. Or, you get the point. Now, if you don't understand why you performed poorly even after pondering all these questions, or you are confident that you should have passed, the next step to consider is, should I contest my score? If you don't know what that means, it's the ability to have NBEO regrade your entire test by re-reviewing the videos and scoring accordingly, and giving you a brand new grade. If you click on the link provided below, you'll see that as of 2020, it costs $450 to contest it. If the regrade passes, you may be able to get that money back as well as your ability to practice optometry. I verified that information when I called NBEO on August 3rd of 2020, but they did tell me that if you pass NBEO but did not pass for Florida specifically, then you cannot contest your score. That is the only exception. That is a recent change in the policy because Florida is weird. With that being said, if that is your concern, you can contact the Florida board and see if they can make an exception for you if your BIO score was, let's say, 74, but you aced the rest of part 3. Let's say that's not the case for you. You did not pass part 3, or you passed but not for your state that is not Florida. Should you contest your score? This is an important question. Understand that while NBEO tries to be as objective as possible, you are graded by 4 different proctors, so there is bound to be some subjectivity in grading. That's the reason why NBEO does offer to contest your score. Now, I'm not recommending you always do this, but it is an option to consider if you for sure think you passed. I know quite a few people in my class that have done this. It worked for some people, it hasn't worked for others. This may be a gamble on your end, but if it works, it could be a game changer. To portray this, I'll give an example of one of my best friends. We'll call him Billy. Billy took part 3 a total of 3 times. The first time he barely failed. He realized his blood pressure skills were bad, along with having a bad day and just screwing up, here and there multiple times. The second time he took the test, he passed for part 3, but he did not qualify for a Florida license. That's back when you could contest for Florida. Now, of course, you cannot. It was June 2019. The next available exam was in 3 weeks, which was only like 5 days after he was to return from vacation, which gave him only 5 days of practice. Not ideal. If Billy did not pick that date, the next option to take the test would be September. That's a long time. So my friend thought about it, and he was certain that he should have passed. He was confident in his skills and did not understand his score. He concluded that risking losing an extra $450 was worth it if it meant beating the possibility of not being able to practice optometry until October or later. So he decided to pay the money to contest his score for a second try, and in addition sign up for a third attempt as well. Do you guys know what happened? He still didn't qualify for Florida after his third attempt, but the regrade for his second attempt showed a passing score for Florida. He took a gamble and passed, and now he owns his own sublease. To summarize, my friend failed the first time, passed the second and third times, but not for Florida, but got the score he desired when he contested his second attempt. Now, I understand that that is a crazy unique case, and everyone's situation is going to be different. With that said, if contesting is an option for you, really consider it if you think you truly should have passed, but if you do, be prepared for the possibility that you still won't have passed. If you can accept that risk of losing more money, then you may want to contest. But if your score wasn't even close to passing, let's say it was 55%, not 68%, I do not recommend contesting. Just hone your skills and try again. Now, whether you contest or not, your last question should be when to plan the retake. To answer this, take similar considerations as you did when scheduling for your first attempt. Make sure it's not during a time that you won't be able to practice your clinical skills. If you need to refer back to my first video that I made about part 3, I'll link it up here in a card. And that's all I have for today. I hope this helped you in your efforts to retake part 3 and move on to patient care, which is the absolute best. If you feel like this helped, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.